Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome to the internet. Welcome to my channel. It's me, Odio, and I'm here today to do another review for you. And today it's Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. Oh, I love Lord of the Rings. Those books and those movies are what first got me into watching movies and this type of thing. So let's get into it here. All right, so this is going to be the story of Helm Hammerhand, one of the kings of Rohan there, and his two sons, Haleth and Hama, and his nephew, Freylif. They basically get into a war with the Dunlendings in Rohan, and they end up with an old invasion, having to fight them off. His sons are considered some of the best horsemen ever from Rohan. He's considered one of the greatest warriors ever, kills a man with one punch. This is a story that's just begging to be told. So, of course, to start off this amazing, exciting adventure, we're going to, of course, be following our main character, Hera. What? Who's Hera?
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Well, let me tell you who Hera is. And I don't mean the Greek god of marriage, women, and childbirth. No, I mean Helm's daughter. You know, that Greek Hera name that she would have, and his daughter doesn't bother to be named by Tolkien because she's so uneventful and unimportant. But you know what? These people here have totally different ideas. We have Hera, and honestly, I really believe they meant to call her She-Ra. They just took the S off the front because she's basically She-Ra, the princess of power. She's got everything she does is correct. Right when the movie starts, you get all these things. Everyone keeps telling us how awesome she is. She's able to ride from birth. She can talk to and ride eagles. Her dad always loved and respected her, although she was never actually mentioned. And like I said, she has the powers of She-Ra, but kind of the attitude of Tila. So you got like a She-Ra, Tila to make a Hera. And She-Ra or Hera, she's all right in the beginning. You know, she's his daughter. You're following the events through her eyes. Why? I have no idea. We have all these named characters who are way more interesting, and yet here we go on this ride. So as I mentioned, when we get going, she's already an accomplished sword woman, horse rider, can speak to eagles and things. And she's been training with her brother since she was very young. And she used to also play with this kid named Wolf, who's one of the Dunlendings. And she cut his eye when they were kids and everything. They were kind of like dating, I think. I don't really know. So anyway, we're going to get to the actual story here, which is about Helm. Helm Hammerhand and his kingdom, and he's got a visitor coming. It's Freka. He's coming with his son to demand a marriage with Hera. So Freka comes with a giant retainer and basically says that, Helm should give his daughter Hera to Wolf. Wolf gets down and does like a proposal thing, and Helm's not having none of it. So he challenges him outside to a fight. Helm gets like kind of punched in the face, kneed, and hit again. And when Helm punches back with one punch, bro! That's it. Freka's dead. And his son Wolf swears revenge. And Hera says she won't marry him because she won't marry no man. You know, like her namesake of marriage and childbirth. She's just avoiding men. The only person she seems like is Olwen, this old shield maiden. Like, they weren't really clear, but that seems to be the only person she really likes, and she's definitely not marrying him. That's why the whole fight happens. That's why Helm punches out the guy in one punch, and she causes everything. All the problems are because of her. She should have just gone off and it is even weirder because she seemed to like the guy. Like they used to date or want to be married or something. She even says that to him, but then she says, I just don't want to marry no man. You know, just living up to that namesake of marriage and childbirth. So then, due to the rejection of his proposal, Wolf is now angry that his dad's been killed by Helm. He even tries to attack Helm with a sword. Helm just grips him up with one hand and drops him and banishes him away. And he goes off to the other Dunlendings and off to way to nowhere. And he slowly becomes the king of swordmen people. And he comes back with an army a couple of years later. And he's going to attack Edoras. He's going to get his revenge for his dad being an ass, attacking Helm and getting killed in one punch.
Emotional, damn it!
We do get some cool fights and some cool action in this. It's an anime movie. I should have brought that up earlier. I am not a huge fan of the animation. Part of it seems like it's like clipping at some parts. Other parts looks okay. The battles are all right. You do get Helm Hammerhand going out to lead the army. And let me tell you, when Helm and his sons go out to start the war, yes, those are great moments. You're really excited to get into that story. And it just cuts away and we're following Hera back at Edoras. And I'm like, I don't care. Follow Helm. Follow the sons. I want to see the fight. Then they're riding their horses. They're getting attacked by Olifants in the army. Olifants, another callback. And when Helm leads them down too, he leads the charge and says, "Death! Death!" Just like King Theoden did. Another callback to Lord of the Rings. And the fighting is pretty cool. Helm and his two sons are really, they go at it. You can see a lot of nice scenes of them killing the villains and stuff like that. And of course, there's a whole sneak attack where the actual main fight that they're at was just a ruse, and they're actually going around behind them to get to Edoras while it's undefended.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Well, I'll say mostly undefended. Hera was there, and she did get everyone kind of evacuated. And now and just for the record, all you book purists out there, you're going to hate this movie. I own those books. I've read them. I know a lot of the changes they made, but I don't know. I don't care about a lot of them, but Hera's it's glaring. We should not be following her viewpoint. I would be so much more interested in anyone else's viewpoint than hers, but we keep getting pulled back to her. So basically, the invasion happens. They get to Edoras, but, Hera has evacuated everyone. So then, this is when we get some of the worst changes. So Helm's two sons. Now, they do kind of get killed in the book, but in this one, the older one, Haleth, he goes back to Edoras. He's fighting, kills an Oliphant all by himself, stuffs it with an axe, and then he just gets, shot with an arrow by a wolf and dies. I'm like, what? He's supposed to be the last man standing at the gate when he dies. That's not how he dies. But anyway, happens right in front of Hera and everybody, and they're all upset because he's standing on an Oliphant celebrating like a jackass when he gets shot through the neck. I didn't like that. That's definitely not how that son dies. And then anyway, they're all evacuating to go to Helm's Deep because even Helm himself is injured. He's taken a few arrows. And when they're on the way, and this is this part is so stupid. I almost just wanted to walk out of the theater. So when they're actually escaping to Helm's Deep, his other son, Hama, who's a very well-accomplished horseman, he actually has an older nag horse who just can't run, just can't make the journey. So he just stops, turns around, takes out a bow, and it cuts away. And I'm like, what, is he going to fight them by himself? Then it cuts forward. They're being sieged at Helm's Deep. And out of nowhere, Wolf has Helm's son, Hama, on a horse, takes him out and cuts his throat in front of what... None of that happens. Helm's sons don't die like that. He's supposed to get lost kind of in a blizzard out looking for supplies and things like that. Not having his throat cut in front of Helm and Hera there. I don't know why they did those changes. There's only there's barely any words for them to actually follow, and yet they can't follow the words that are there. They have to change everything for some reason. I have no idea why, but really didn't like the treatment of his sons. And then Helm is injured and they're being sieged, and he's bedridden now. Then we get to the part in the movie I was looking forward to the most. Helm Hammerhand going out at night like a ghost, like a berserker, killing people with his bare hands and things throughout the night. We literally get a little montage and a slight clip, but we don't get to see it. And I was like, what? That's the meat and potatoes of what you have to adapt. But nope, we don't get that. And at one point, Hera goes to a secret passage and she finds Helm outside. There's some orcs there with rings, and he kills them, and Hera collects the rings. Why are the orcs collecting rings for the Dark Lord or whatever in the middle of this? But she goes out and meets with Helm, and he's trying to get her safe. So in this one, totally different again, Helm's death. This one, he takes his daughter Hera back and gets her into a Helm's Deep. When they're on the way there, all the men try to open the gates, but they fail to open the gates for some reason. So when Helm gets there, he's trying to open the gates himself, and only Olwen the Shield Maiden is there watching him as he just barely gets it open and he gets Hera in. No soldiers come down to help him. Nobody's up on the walls shooting arrows. No people come out. This is their king, mind you. No one comes out to do anything. What the heck is going on? Nobody mans the walls because there's a bunch of guys coming up to get him. He just stands there.
I'm planning on dying tonight. What are your plans?
Almost like they're trying to do a callback to the Helm's Deep battle in Lord of the Rings. But he just stands on the walkway. They come out in the morning and his frozen corpse is just standing there. That is not, again, how Tolkien wrote it. He does kind of die, in the ice standing like that with his knees unbent, but I don't know. I don't know why they made this change. And when he could have made it in that door, really, but he gives the stupidest line ever. He looks at Hera. She's like, "No, Dad, I need you." And Helm's like, "No, the realm needs you." What? What on earth? No. Awful. Anyway, yeah, he dies out there in the snow. And let me tell you, there's still a bit more movie to this, but honestly, that's where the movie dies, with Helm and his boys, because the rest of it, we are getting She-Ra, Princess of Power, Hera, who is now in control of everything, going to be the leader. And even though Helm even makes a point that she has no knowledge of logistics or warfare, don't worry, she'll manage the defense of Helm's Deep, no problem at all. So then for the rest of it, Wolf continues the siege on the Helm's Deep, and She-Ra, Olwyn, and Freylov, I mean, he's still there. Like, he's his nephew. He gets banned. Oh my god, I forgot to mention that. Earlier on in the movie, he tries to kill an Oliphant, gets knocked down, but Hera is able to, get the Oliphant away, and it gets attacked by a squid monster thing. That's a callback to the Fellowship of the Ring. Why was it in that water there? I don't know. Why were the Oliphants all looking like zombies? I have no idea. But anyway, they chase her, and then the squid thing eats the Oliphant. She gets captured. Freylov has to save her. I kid you not, when he brings her back, Helm doesn't even listen to Hera, just punishes Freylov and says, you're banned, get out of here, I don't want your sword and stuff. I was like, what? And he won't even let her speak on this guy's behalf.
Stop it. Get some help.
So anyways, back to what I was saying. They, like She-Ra, Olwyn, and Freylov, they basically do the whole defense at Helm's Deep. Freylov tries to pretend he's Helm at one point to kind of scare people and things like that. I mean, the end part, the fighting and the violence is pretty good, but it's so weird. Sometimes it's just like She-Ra or Hera standing on her own, fighting a bunch of guys. Then you'll see Olwyn doing that, and you'll see Freylov doing that. It's like there's no other people involved. Like none of the other regular soldiers or knights or nothing. There's no other really heroic stories, just theirs. And basically, Wolf comes in to have a big war and attack everybody. And in the story, Freylov obviously defeats him and becomes leader of Rohan. Not in this. No way. Of course not. She-Ra's going to do it. The Princess of Power. She gets her shield thrown to her by her shield maiden, Olwyn. And she just, attacks Wolf and, hits him with the shield till he dies. Brutal. And she actually overpowers him at one point. I'm like, this guy is like a trained warrior who united all the Dunlendings and stuff like that. He's a leader of men, but no problem. She just whoops him. So there you go. And then after he dies, she even says, well, I'm going to take these rings and I'm going to go talk to a wizard about it. And you see a little bag with it looks like a Gandalf symbol, but no, she just makes it blatant. I'm going to go see Gandalf. It's like, all right, okay, fine, whatever. I'm going to talk to him about these rings. Yeah, you go ahead and do that, Hera, but please don't come back for another movie.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
But Hera basically gets the stolen valor of killing Wolf, and she leaves at the end, and they keep trying to explain why she's not involved in any of the other stories, but yeah, it's just because Tolkien doesn't put her in them. There's a lot of Easter eggs, and there's a lot of callbacks to earlier Lord of the Rings movie, like that squid monster that shows up, the Oliphants come in, and like I said, when the Rohan are going to attack, death, you see the eagles again, you even get one or two lines from Sauron, he just says 2 or 3 words, and you get the reference to Gandalf and everything. My goodness, they packed it, and this movie still sucks. I did not like it at all. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I felt like they had such an easy path to victory here. Tell the story of Helm Hammerhand and his 2 boys, and just have it almost end with him at the end of at the siege, and then have a little soliloquy at the end saying how Freylov finished it or something. I don't know. I didn't like this. Putting Hera or She-Ra in place here and having her do all the stuff, and we're seeing it from her point of view, I really didn't like it. I didn't care about her point of view, and I really didn't want to follow her character at all. Not even a little bit. I wanted to follow the characters that Tolkien wrote, Tolkien created, and follow that story, but you don't get that here. Yeah, overall, honestly, at the end of the day, if this was what actually happened, they would have called it Hera's Deep, not Helm's Deep, because it was her that really did the saving and stopped the main villain and everything. But it's called Helm's Deep for a reason, because this is mostly a bunch of nonsense. I'm going to give this movie overall a 4 out of 10. I like the animation. I really like the story of Wolf and his sons, and I could probably have done without most of the rest of it here. So, yeah, not one I'd recommend anyone check out. But thanks so much for watching this far, guys. Really appreciate your time. Please like, share, and subscribe to the video. And remember, everybody, stay out of trouble.